How's it going, everybody? It's Prod here, and today I'm bringing you guys a new video to talk to you guys about some Dark Souls 3 DLC, specifically the first DLC, kind of talk about the release date, what we know so far about the DLC, but let me preface this by saying it's very little that we know so far. Considering how close we are, and I do think that it's fairly close, and I'll get into that in a second. It's very rare that we have this little amount leading up to a DLC, at least when it comes to most games. I'm not entirely sure how it's usually been in the past. I should probably looked up how it's been in the past, but it's one of those things that's very hard to look up. Once something is up, it's obviously everywhere, and it's hard to find the periods before it came out, like a month before or something like that. So I'm just going to say that. So what do we know so far about the release date to start things off? So we know that it's supposed to come out sometime in the fall this year, the first DLC. So people are speculating that it might come out as soon as next month, which is August. But I'm a little bit skeptical on it coming out on August, considering we're almost at August already, and we have yet to get a trailer, we have yet to get any info at all about the DLC. I feel like if it was next month, we would have for sure gotten something, at least a trailer, to get people hyped up. So what I'm most likely guessing is that when we're going to see the DLC for Dark Souls 3 is going to be September or October. I kind of leaning more towards September, maybe the end of September. Some people have even speculated that even all the way till November, but I do think that's a little bit too far away. 3 months ahead or 3 months away just seems a bit too much. So I definitely think that we're going to see it probably around September or October. But like I said, what do we know so far about what's going to be in the actual DLC? You know, what do we know? What is it going to contain? Basically, we know very little. A couple weeks back, we actually got a couple of things of them talking about the DLC, so I'll kind of look over some of the things and tell you guys in case you guys haven't read up on that. So one of the things that I know that they said was that the DLC was going to be bringing in something completely new, a completely new element to the game, something that we have not seen before. Then there's obvious stuff like new weapons, new armor, stuff like that we know that we're going to get. Obviously, it's par for the course. It's a new DLC. Why wouldn't we get new stuff? But a couple of the most interesting things that I saw that they were going to put in this new DLC is, one is a completely new storyline that we have yet to experience in the Dark Souls series, and the second one is a little bit more wonky, but apparently it's supposed to be an area that we have yet to explore at all in the Dark Souls series. Now that is extremely interesting. I don't know if they mean the Dark Souls series as a whole or just Dark Souls 3, but I'm guessing it's going to be as a whole, because obviously this is the final Dark Souls game that they're going to make. They're going to want to close out the story, they're going to want to close out the series in a really big way, and obviously we know that these couple of DLCs are going to be huge DLCs. A lot of people are speculating they might be tiny DLCs and medium-sized DLCs. I have high hopes that we're going to see some big DLCs similar to the Artorias DLC and the old Hunters that we saw in Bloodborne, because those were two pretty big DLCs. Now when it comes to content and what we're gonna get in the DLCs, obviously there's no way of knowing right now. Where are we gonna go? Where is this new area? I honestly think that this area is gonna be Londor. If you watched Vadi's video, which I would highly suggest if you haven't already, which I'm guessing most of you guys have, it's a very good video, very good lore video on the Dark Souls series as a whole, and Dark Souls 3 as well, especially one of the endings. Spoiler alert, if you have never done this ending, it's the one with Yuria and the Dark Lord ending, and you become the Dark Lord and everything. Obviously that has ties and connection to Londor and Yuria, and he talks a lot in the video. Now if you want to go really in depth, which obviously I'm not going to do in this video because he has that 21-minute video, which is really well made. Go check it out if you haven't already. But like he said in the video, making all those points, I do think that the very first DLC is going to be Londor related. Now what we actually get in that DLC, I don't entirely know if it's going to affect the second DLC. I don't know if what's going to happen in the first one is going to be like a big continuous story, or if we're going to get two individual stories that kind of close in on each other, you know, because there's a lot of stuff that are still left open. Like I said in the video, we have yet to see anything about Velka, so I very much think that in the first DLC we're going to see something about that. But like I said, I don't know that if it's going to have any connections, because I'm very much hoping that the second DLC has something to do with this Age of the Deep Sea. If we see something related to darkness, something with the Abyss again. Now I know a lot of people might be saying, oh, the Abyss again, it's so boring. We got a huge DLC in Dark Souls 1 entirely surrounded around the Abyss, killing madness and stuff. Spoiler alert. I don't know why I said spoiler alert in the end. I mean, if you've never played Dark Souls 1 by now, then that just sucks for you. But, you know, like I said, we defeated Manus, who was basically the grandfather of the Abyss. And I don't know if we killed him entirely, if the Abyss still remained, but I can definitely see the Abyss still surviving and somehow making its way to the future. And like I said, you know, there's a lot of stuff leading that way as well. I definitely hope that we see something about this Age of the Deep. And like I said before, something that connects the story of Bloodborne and the Dark Souls, at least makes it in the same universe, which somehow Bloodborne is some way related to the future. Imagine going into the Hunter's Dream in the Dark Souls series. Now, a lot of people might not like that. A lot of people who maybe never played Bloodborne or hated Bloodborne as a game might not like that, and maybe like their condensed Dark Souls story to be its own Dark Souls universe rather than be connected to the entirety of Bloodborne, even though I feel like the Bloodborne universe is pretty big on its own as well, even though it's just one game compared to Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 to 3, you know, it's still a pretty big game. So I'm very interested to see what comes out of that. Obviously, I apologize, there's just not much to say so far about the Dark Souls 3 DLC. I'm obviously going to keep you guys updated as the time progresses. We're going to get more, we're going to get trailers, we're going to get new info about the DLC, and of course, all that is going to be on my channel, so stay tuned. If you're not subscribed already, feel free to do so. But that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the matches in the background and stuff. I just recorded some matches before making this video. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Definitely leave some of your speculations on what you think we are going to see in the first Dark Souls 3 DLC or any of the 2 DLCs in the comment section. Alright, talk to you guys later. Peace, everybody.